very few voters are, you and I haven't run for office, are familiar with this term. It's obvious by what it's called. Very few voters are actual single-issue voters, Grant. Meaning, voters vote on a variety of issues, the economy, healthcare, education policy, whatever it may be. But there are voters who vote literally on a single issue, hence the term single-issue voters. And don't you find it a little fascinating that one of the larger blocks of single-issue voters out there vote on the Second Amendment issue? That should say something to people like Dowd about how important this is. This critical issue, the ability to defend your own life and the lives of your family. This is not fictional power. Voters decide their candidates on a lot of different things. But when you look at blocks of single-issue voters, the one issue that dominates almost all others is the ability to protect yourself with a firearm. In some limited circles, Grant, I'm being incredibly sarcastic here because I get really upset at this, you would call that a clue. But the left still has not figured that out. And that's why I'm telling you they will never, ever win on this issue.
Yeah, well, it's about self-preservation. And people certainly take it seriously.
Yeah.
And, they want to call into question the 5 million number. And they say, oh, that's not very many people. I would go out and venture to say that though we have 5 million members of the NRA, I would bet there's another 10 to 15 million people out there that think they're members of the NRA, that don't know their dues have lapsed, that have NRA stickers on the back of their pickup trucks or their Mercedes or whatever it may be. And I promise you, there's a lot more out there than the left wants to give us credit for.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, let's be honest. There are some who just, don't join because they've got things going on. They're soccer moms and dads. But if you were to ask them to take a survey, grade your level of respect for these organizations, I'm sure Planned Parenthood would be 100 out of 100. The NRA would be 1 or 2. I mean, listen, we love it that they're dues-paying members, a lot of folks, but some aren't, maybe financially, whatever it may be. But these are people who align with our cause. And Grant, that's real power, too, okay? That's not made up. In other words, I'll give you another quick example on this. Again, me having run for office, I have an entirely different perspective on this than Matthew Dowd, who I don't think has ever run for anything, maybe like class president or whatever. But I actually ran. I know how this works, okay? Came close to winning, You have no idea how many people knock on their neighbors' doors because it happened to me. Because people knew I was intimately involved in politics. And they say, hey, Dan, Grant, whatever. Who do you think's a better candidate, Bobby Bag of Donuts or Joey Bag of Donuts or whatever? If you're the NRA member and you're voting on that issue and that matters to you, you got one guy who's an anti-Second Amendment joker and another guy who's strong on individual freedoms, you're going to tell your neighbor, vote for Joey, not for Bobby. So claiming that that's fictional power, by the way, which is one more thing on this, Grant, sorry, but saying that an organization that has millions of members in a country of only 300 million people is fictional power is pretty much the height of stupidity. I mean, when I ran, again, it's not just that other people are talking. You send me a letter from an organization that's got millions of members, I'm telling you right now, the antenna, ding, 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 are going right up. So that's just dumb.